Hey everyone, it's Emily Fox. Today's video is going to be all about the books I'm hoping to read in July. I'm hoping to read a ton of books because frankly, I have been a reading machine. I have been reading so many books the last 2-3 months that I think I can actually read all of these this month too. Well, I'll try. Let's start with the two that we're going to be reading with the Patreon book club. The first one is going to be a classic for the month of July and August. And it is Crime and Punishment, which I am absolutely terrified of this book. It was the case with a lot of you too, so this is the perfect kind of book to pick up as a classic together because otherwise I would never read it. Well, maybe not never, but I feel like I'm really intimidated. It's a chunky one. It's obviously a Russian classic and I feel like they just scared the crap out of me. I know it's about a person, like a man that kills someone without any remorse, but then guilt starts to build up, develops a conscience or something. So I would love to read something by the author because I've never read anything by him and I've heard so many wonderful things. So this is going to be the one that we read for the next 2 months. And for the monthly one, we picked some Octavia E Butler. I am so sad that we're reading more of her. It was fairly tight. I'm hoping to still read the other ones that are mentioned. But this one is going to be like a sci-fi, as always with her, but it's like a dystopian version of a world. It's like 2025, I think it starts happening, which I always think it's funny whenever that happens in a book. Like I almost want to wait until 2025. Recently I had read The Sparrow, and I think it happens in 2020 or something like that. So I like whenever we're catching up to like futuristic sci-fi. And I've heard, again, wonderful things about this one. The author in general is one of my favorite author at this point, even though I've only read 4 books by her, but I will read absolutely everything by her at this point. So this is going to be our pick for the month of July, something, you know, light and fluffy. Definitely not. Speaking of light read, I do want to have some during the summer, so I think I'm going to pick up Beach Read by Emily Henry. I've read Book Lovers by her and enjoyed it. I'm not a big romance reader, but during the summer, I like to read like 1 or 2 every year, so this is going to be, I think, the one I pick. I wasn't sure between that one and her other one, People We Meet on Vacation. Let me know, you can argue in the comment section, but I feel like Beach Read screams summer to me, although Vacation too. I don't know, maybe it's just that I want to go to the beach. That might be the whole explanation here. So yes, that one. During the summer is also when I start to read some mystery thrillers. So one of them is part of my challenge to finish more series. The last book in the Millennium series, this is The Girl Who Kicked the Hornet's Nest. And I really enjoyed book 1, like loved book 1. Book 2 was still good and I want to finish the trilogy. That way I feel accomplished and then, you know, also know how it ends because I've been really, really enjoying it. I'm super late to the game, but totally worth the read, at least the first one. And also, I wanted you to let me know which one you want me to read between these two. These are 2 new releases. So you have Things We Do in the Dark, and we have The Lies I Tell. Both of them have been getting really great reviews, so I'm just curious. I don't want to look too much into them because I like going into mystery thrillers not knowing anything. But I believe this one, you have this woman who is found like arrested, covered in blood, and her husband is dead. And then this one, you have 2 women that keep changing identity. One book that I will be reading as soon as it's out is Upgrade by Blake Crouch. He's coming out with his newest work at the end of the month. So the second that it's out, I will be filming like a 24-hour reading blog or however long it takes me to read it. I'm very, very excited. He's definitely a solid author in my opinion. If you like thrillers with a hint of sci-fi, we'll be reading. Another challenge that I'm giving myself this month is my pile of shame. I try to do it every summer and it's July, so I have to. For anyone that doesn't know, my pile of shame is basically books that I started and stopped for often very stupid reason or not at all. And it's been months or years and I still haven't finished them. So it's very lighthearted. If I'm not enjoying myself, I just get rid of them afterwards. So it's not like, there's not a lot of pressure here. But I wanted to show you some of the ones that I have on my physical TBR so you can let me know which ones you want me to focus on. The first one I think is going to be the one that people want me to read the most, which is Kings of the Wild. It's an adult fantasy series, the first book, and you're following like old mercenaries that are basically retired, but then the daughter of one of them gets kidnapped and they have to go on one last trip adventure. I had to start reading this. I know I was less than 100 pages into it and I could see the jokes, but I wasn't laughing. So I assume I just wasn't in the right mood for it. So still hoping that that was the case. And will be attempting to read it probably this month. The rest, you can tell me. We have The City of Brass. I think I was 50% to the audiobook. Got returned to the library, never picked it up again, and I got a used copy of it and never continued either. So, fantasy, by the way. The last book in the Sight trilogy, The Toll by Neil Schusterman, YA, sci-fi, 60 pages into it. It's been 2-3 years. The Great Hunt, the second book in the Wheel of Time. I think I'm not going to read this in July, though. I think August, I'm going to do like a whole challenge trying to continue and finish a fantasy series in that month, because I have so many and I have not been reading a lot of fantasy. So I might not pick up this one. We have The Shining by Stephen King. I'm like 200 pages into it. It's been years, like 4+ years. I'm going to start over, by the way. Like, I'm not just going to pick up from where I was at, because 200 pages, I have no idea what happened at this point. The Demon Hunted World by Carl Sagan. I was enjoying myself, but life, I guess. And then Arcanum Unbounded by Brandon Sanderson. This is a collection of short story. I'm like 450 pages into it, and it's been a month or two. This one annoys me probably the most in here. It's Brandy Sandy. How did I not finish this book? I know it's the short story thing, but still. So yes, there will be like a week where I attempt to finish like 2 or 3 of these books that I started and never finished. Honestly, looking back, some of them, it's been so much longer than I thought, and it's okay. It's part of fun here. A little bit of horror would be nice too. So I think I'm going to attempt to find time to read Into the Drowning Deep by Mara Grant. She's also written under Shannon McGuire, so you might know her under that. And I wanted to give her like a last chance kind of thing, because I like the idea of her books, but not necessarily love them. And this one has killer mermaids, so that's all I needed to know to pick it up. I would also like to read some of the saddest books you have read. So please in the comment section, leave me some recommendations and I'll pick like 2 or 3 and read them. And hopefully I will cry, because I've realized that I will cry very easily while watching a movie, but not so much when I'm reading, and I want to change that. So we'll see if you can make me cry. I also have a bunch of audiobooks. So the first one we have is What Happened to the Bennetts, which I believe is also a mystery thriller. I don't want to remember what it was about, but it's a new-ish one and reviews are positive, so that's all I needed. We have Gallant by Ve Schwab. I've been wanting to read more by her. I think she wrote actually this one on the Victoria Schwab. The reviews are so far pretty positive, but I haven't been super lucky with her YA stuff, so I wanted to try that one. Then we have Bunny, which I guess we could add this into the list of like hot side girl recommendation from Book Talk. I just get sucked in and I'm curious, so I'm going to read a couple more and I'll do a video letting you know which ones I thought were worth it and which ones not so much, but apparently this one is kind of gross and weird, so I'm open to it. We have Empire of Pain, which is a nonfiction about this family that is one of the ones responsible for the drug epidemic in the US. So I've been looking forward to reading that one. I just haven't had a lot of time. I've been listening to so many audiobooks and this one is on the longer side, so I always tend to favor the other option. We have Severance, which is also sci-fi. This one includes a pandemic, so I'm assuming it's like a dystopian kind of book, and I didn't want to read it when it came out because it was too close to the pandemic. It's still happening, obviously, but like it was too, like, I know a lot of people went out of their way to read a bunch of post-apocalyptic books when it started. Not for me, it was the opposite. I had read so many and I didn't want to read anymore. So I feel like it's finally coming back, so I will be listening to that one too. And I also have Pachinko, which has been on my waiting list at the library for forever, I feel like, and the TV show came out and I have been wanting to hurry up and read the book so I can actually watch it. I'm definitely prepared mentally for that one. Intergenerational trauma. It's really hard with Invisalign. But yes, I have been wanting to read that one forever. And last but definitely not least, I am hoping to read Tomorrow, and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. I really enjoyed The Storied Life of A.G. Fickery by her, and I've been wanting to read more. It was kind of a feel-good kind of story, which is usually not really my cup of tea. I'm realizing I like dark, depressing stuff, and I wanted to try something else by her, and this one is a new release. It is coming out the 5th of July, but I do have an ARC and Advanced Reader copy, so I wanted to try to read it as soon as possible to let you know. I've been actually reading my Kindle every night before bed, which I kept forgetting the books on my Kindle, not gonna lie. So I think it's a good habit I picked up, and I will be reading this one as soon as possible. Yeah, I think that's it. That's still a very, very long list. I'm hoping to get to all of the ones, obviously, that I've mentioned. Please let me in the comment section for the ones that I was asking questions. The saddest book you've ever read? I want to know. If you have any books you think I should prioritize part of my pile of shame, would also love to know, because I don't even know where to start with these books, honestly. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thumbs up, subscribe. I will be putting more videos on the screen that I recommend you check out, and I will see you in an upcoming video very soon. Bye.